Hi, first graders. So, our book this week is a very special one, but also at the same time, kind of a sad one too. And you'll find out why when you hear the title soon. Because we're going to have some different activities after this story to help us have conversations and prepare for next year, as you'll be second graders. I can't believe it. We are at that time. So our book for this week seems very appropriate since you're only first graders for another week. So it's called Second Grade, Here I Come, which now you know why it's happy, because you guys have worked so hard, and especially with this last trimester, you guys have gone through so much challenges, but still persevered through the end of your first grade, and I am so proud of you because it's been a challenging time for all of us. But we're at that time where you've just worked so hard that you are basically, as I've said all year, you're basically now more a second grader than you are even a first grader. So this book is going to help get us some idea what second grade might be like with as far as expectations. Some things might be different in this book than what it will be like at our school. But after we're done going through the book, we're going to have an activity posted with this book where you can either write a wondering about second grade or a question you have about second grade, and which is why this Read Aloud will be posted earlier in the week, so that then I can do a video and we can kind of talk through and answer some of your wonderings and your questions that you're having about second grade, so you can kind of lower what's called, we've talked about your anxiety or your worries, so that then you can go into second grade being a little bit more prepared for the most part in what to at least expect. So here we go. We're going to start our book, and it's written by DJ Steinberg, and it's illustrated by Laura Wood. Back to school. No more lazy beach ball days. No more summer getaways. No more splashing in the pool. No siree, it's back to school. But there's one big ray of sun, even though vacation's done. At least I know when summer ends, it's time to see my old school friends. The gang's all back. Did Shane get taller or Zane get smaller? Something's different there. Camille got earrings, Anne's all tan, and Lee got spiked up hair. Heath showed up with 2 big teeth, and someone stretched out Zach. We're all summer older, but hooray, the gang's all back. So it'll be so nice for those of us, there's only a few of us moving this year, so it'll be nice that even though you all might not be in the same class next year, you'll at least get to see each other at lunch, at recess, and different times. From me to we. Mr. Dar likes circles. Seriously. Today he drew one and labeled it me. Then he circled that circle and wrote family. And around that he drew a community. He made more circles, all itty-bitty, and circled them all up to make up a city. He showed how more cities together create a bigger circle that's called a state. So if you can see here, what they're talking about is, here's this little circle of you, and over that circle is your family, and over that circle is the community that you live in. And then within that circle is a big circle, that's your city, and that also has community and other communities in it as well. And then over that big circle, there's another big circle, and that's your state, which for us would be Washington State, which compiles or is made up of other different cities. Then states make countries, and we know we live in United States. And on he went to show how those make a continent. And we know that we live in, I can just hear you saying it. He drew one last circle, kind of like he began it, and wrote the name we on the big giant planet. So that's how you get from me to we, and how we are all stuck together, you see. Temptation. If you might even be possibly tempted to talk to a person near you, go and change your place, says the teacher, right now, before I do. I look at my friend, and my friend looks at me, and soon as our guilty eyes meet, I gather my things and head across the room to find a different seat. So that's something that's a little similar to how we did it in our class, that may be similar to how your second grade teacher does it for you as your expectation. If your seating arrangement is not working for you, you either choose on your own to get up and leave, or you can come ask me and I can help you find that different spot. And a lot of you were very responsible and did that. So that might be pretty similar in your second grade too. Soccer practice. My sweatpants have a hole in them, and I'm not telling where, but no matter what Coach Daniel says, I'm not getting out of this chair. Spelling test. Every Friday morning we have our spelling test. I'm not the greatest speller, but I always do my best. So fortunately for us, for you guys, for next year, you'll be familiar with our same foundations curriculum that we used in first grade. And they use the same one. So for most of you coming back, you'll be familiar with having a unit, and at the end of that unit, we don't call it a spelling test, but I could, and you'll do your foundations test. So that's pretty similar, even though they call it in the book a little different. Take a look at my book. Check out this book. It's my new reading book, and it's not like those little kid books. Take a look. It's chock full of chapters, and hey, wait a minute. Excuse me, but why are there no pictures in it? And a lot of you have come so far in your reading, and some of you are working so hard and are almost there, that this will be very true for most of you as you progress through second grade and get ready for third grade. You're going to have more books that don't have pictures in it because you're going to be able to read more of the words in the books. So that's going to be something very exciting for us, and I know a lot of you are so excited for that too. "20 minutes a night. You have to read 20 minutes a night when you are in grade 2. It's only 20 minutes, I know, but there's so much else to do. I need to play a game with my brother and talk to my friend about stuff and throw a ball so my dog won't get bored. Then my mom said, enough is enough. So I opened the book, 20 minutes was all, and I figured I'd give it a try. And I don't know how, but when I looked up, a whole hour had whizzed right by. Just one more chapter, I begged my mom. Enough is enough, she said. Tomorrow, I can't wait to read some more before it's time for bed. So this is kind of like what our expectation was in first grade, and it may be your expectation in second grade, but see how even though a lot of times we want to do a lot of these things instead, once you start to actually get into a book on a topic with characters that you really love, a whole hour can whiz by and it does not seem like work at all. It actually seems pretty fun. Tryouts. I went to the school play tryouts, but I tripped coming up the stage stairs. Everyone giggled. I'd figured I'd blown it, but then I decided, who cares? I pretended to trip all over the place. I stood up, then tumbled back down. The kids laughed so hard the teacher said, "You're cast in the part of the clown." Hungry art. Art class comes before lunch, so I'm in a hungry mood. I guess that could be why I'm always painting food. And I know that when you're in second grade, you have a little bit more of after school options than you do in first grade. So I know that there are a couple art classes that maybe you'll be interested that are after school that teach you how to do different kind of techniques. Recycle week. We're saving the planet this week. Hurrah! We're making no garbage at all, except for the sort of recyclable kind that can go in the box in the hall. For lunch, we bring in reusable bags with plastic compartments and seals. Then we pack them back up and, yuck, what is this? I forgot that bananas have peels. My teacher says they're great for compost to help grow the garden at school. Then he gives me 2 stickers. I hand him the peel. Let me tell you, recycling is cool. It. Every day at recess, you have to shout, "Not it," because if you didn't say it, then you'll be it legit. But if you're it, don't pitch a fit. Just run around and flail. And when you tag someone else, shout out, "You're it," and bail. Marshmallow toes. On our way back to our classroom, our teacher leads us the 2 rows and says not to make too much noise by walking on marshmallow toes. So I know, like for us, we either do like a quiet coyote or hips on lips or hands behind your back. So some teachers might have different ways that they do it when you walk in the hall. So this teacher is a little bit different by doing quiet feet on marshmallow toes. Wall of dreams. The wall in the hall says, "I have a dream," with a place for us kids to say all the things we imagine in our own dreams, how the world could be better someday. The wall in the hall is covered with dreams for just about everything. And although they're just dreams, that's a good place to start, like it was for the great Dr. King. We learned about him and his dreams and read a couple books about him and watched some videos. So you guys might have activities very similar to that about where you're thinking about your dreams or your goals or how you can change the world. And they might put them on the hall like this, or maybe you'll be writing about it. So this will be something similar but different than what we have done. Valentine's party. I got 3 billion Valentines, but the one that is way off the chart is the one that I got from my teacher. It's a red foil milk chocolate heart. Fraction action. I thought up a show called Fraction Man. It made my friends all laugh. When he's attacked by bad guys, he divides himself in half. Then he can keep on dividing himself into clones that get smaller in size, till the villain finds he's fighting off 64 super fierce little guys. So what this shows me is the math that you're going to be learning and expected to know by the end of second grade will be different than the math that you've learned and expected to know at the end of first grade. So we've talked a very little bit about fractions, but you might learn a little bit more about fractions in second grade. The principal's office. Someone passed a note to give the person next to me. So I was just the delivery guy. I'm innocent, you see, but when my teacher noticed, I was asked to leave the room and sent to the principal. Now I walk the hall of doom. By the time I was in her office, I confessed my whole life a crime. I was tardy for recess, I drew in a book, I swallowed gum one time. The principal sends me back to class with a smile, for goodness sake. She says that even awesome kids are allowed to make mistakes. And that's very true. We all mess up sometimes, but it's how we handle it that makes us better and have more character. Noodle time.